How's it going everyone, GBG here, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you a masterful guide that's going to put you right at the top of the ranks if you master them. It has been an amazing 3 days of early access for Dragonball Sparking Zero, and I spent the majority of this time doing ranked battles, so we can get a grasp at what high level gameplay for the game would look like, at least for the time being. I started playing ranked with base Goku, Hit, Cooler, Janemba, and some other low tier characters that you can think of. And I went all the way up to UI Goku, who stands at the top of the list as the strongest of them all. Yes, he's even above Super Saiyan Full Gogeta. So, from my online experience to now doing some tutorials for you guys, I'm going to give you, or help you, prepare for what I think is the most ridiculous ranked battle system, at least for the single player ranked battles, as you will most likely run into Fusions or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and these will have either After Image Strike or Gogeta with the damage. Okay, let's cut from the ranked problems that I've faced so far and get into how we can defeat even the mightiest of characters out there, no matter which character you end up picking. First thing you're going to need to do when you step into this game is get a good cup of coffee and dive into the combat system, as it is deep. It may seem like a button mashing fest, when in reality they have implemented so many mechanics into this game that will literally go over your head if you don't memorize them all. And I mean all of them. Okay, so how do we start? First thing we're gonna need to do is find our main characters. So pick 5 characters that you're going to wanna always play, at least for the time being, until you get bored of them and then you want to switch later on. Once you have them, you're going to want to step into practice mode and learn their combo routes, because extending combos in this game may seem simple, but you can easily break your combo counter if you repeat the same moves. This is something they've implemented to kind of stop people from using the same combos over and over again and deal so much damage. Therefore, it's best that you know all of your character's strengths and weaknesses, especially their combos and their varied combos, before you step into ranked battles. Okay, let's get into the practice. One thing I can say is control scheme in this game could be a little bit better if they allowed us to fully customize our controls, meaning we can assign any button to whatever button we want it to be, even the button combinations, but unfortunately I think due to the game mechanics that just isn't the case. But for me though, what I am using currently is Classic Custom. This suits my playstyle just fine and it works for me, okay? Doesn't mean that it may work for you. You could choose Standard and still perform what I'm performing, so long as you know what my buttons do. That's why I also have a controller on the side of the screen, so it could help you guys find out what exactly I'm pressing, okay? One thing you're gonna need to change though, this is due to the fact that my viewers were helping me figure out the reason why I couldn't switch mid-battle. I couldn't switch and I could transform whenever I wanted, because those inputs were on analog stick, so you would have to click the analog stick and then direct it to the side. It works best if you have it on the D-pad, because D-pad is also movement, and if you have it set to standard, what you can do is use that to transform and switch characters. It's way better that way. Now, the real training begins. Our main priority here is learning how to guard ourselves. When you're getting comboed in this game, you may get frustrated to the point where you want to break your controller, because once you start getting comboed, if you do not know how to escape, you are there forever, right? Literally forever, because people are just gonna combo you to death. So the best advice I can give you for now is to master your defense. But we're gonna go through everything I think is a necessity to learn and master, okay? So the next thing we're gonna need to learn is how to throw people, so basically grabbing. So when people are just guarding the whole time, how do we break their guard? Well, one of those ways is to grab them. And you can do this in classic controls by pressing XX twice when you're near them. Bear in mind though, when you do this when you're too far away, let me just try and show it to you here. You see how long you're vulnerable for? Just there? Yeah, don't try to do this when you're too far away from an opponent, because you are going to be vulnerable for a very long time. So make sure you're always really close to your opponent, especially when they're trying to go for an interception, which we're going to cover in just a second. Now, switching characters and transformations. So now, before I told you that your switching characters was on analog stick, so you'd have to click both analog sticks to switch characters. Now that is on D-pad to the left. Your D-pad to the left is your switch, okay? Nice and simple. You click that and then you press square to switch to Goten or to Gohan, wherever your characters are. So square is basically assigned to the left side, and then triangle is assigned to the top, X is assigned to the bottom, and circle to the right. Your up D-pad will be your transformation, so when you press that, you can choose your transformations. And this is why we changed directional button controls to standard. Now, let's talk about our high-speed movements. First one in the list is Dragon Dashing. I think this is my preferred way or method of movement in the game, and I'll show you just why. With Dragon Dash, you don't spend half as much ki as you would if you did a short dash, which is basically pressing X when you're in mid-range from your opponent. As you can see, just by pressing X and then letting go of my L2 sometimes here and there, I'm able to cancel my Dragon Dash into short dash, allowing me to close in to my opponent really quickly and catching them off guard. Now, what you can do with a Dragon Dash is the following, as I just showed. You basically just go into a Dragon Dash backwards or forwards depending on how far you are from your opponent. So you initiate the Dragon Dash and then quickly let go of L2 and then press X into a ki blast to stun your opponent, and then immediately go into a burst dash, which is basically L2 plus X twice. Okay, you press L2 and then press X twice to go into a burst dash. Now, another way to initiate this is you can go first into a short dash and then you can go straight into a Dragon Dash initiation. So basically you go into a short step or a short dash or whatever. This is what I mean by when you really need to know all the mechanics of the game, because it gets kind of confusing. A short dash is basically X when you're at mid-range, because when you're in close range you go into a step. Okay, it's a step. So when you're in mid-range you go into a short dash. All right, that's a short dash, and then immediately go into a Dragon Dash by pressing L2 plus X. Okay, so short dash and then Dragon Dash. There you go. So X followed by forward plus X. All right, ignore the A, that's Xbox controls, but you can see my controller on the bottom left right there. Ah boy, if I told you how important this next one is, you'd be like, nah, I can't believe it. But basically this is your most offensive weapon in the entire game. Z burst dashing is like the craziest mechanic in this game, because it's fast, snappy. The opponent can basically have like what, 1 split second to react, otherwise they're gonna get staggered and comboed right away. So what you do is basically dash away briefly for like a split second and then immediately double tap X. Okay, you initiate Dragon Dash away from your opponent straight into double tapping X whilst also holding L2. Okay, so the best way to use this is by pressing a little ki blast on their face, because then it's gonna make him think you're gonna go for a close range attack, so like pressing square, but in reality you're gonna go into a Z burst away from them and then go literally behind them in an instant, in a blink of an eye. As you can see, you do a ki blast, make them go into perception because they're gonna try and counter your next move, which will be your melee attack, and then go straight behind them and slap them. The next few steps are pretty basic. It's just showing you how to ascend and descend. And remember, as you're ascending, you can actually cancel this into a Dragon Dash of your own. So you can go either ascend upwards, diagonal. The movement in this game is just insane. The same thing applies to descend as well. As you're descending downwards, you can go into a short dash or a Z burst dash. What, guys, it's insane. When I say this game has the craziest mechanics, it has the craziest mechanics. It allows so much freedom for movement, and I'm still nowhere near as I want to be. Like, honestly, the shortest thing I can show you right now where I want to get to is this. So currently I'm working on a mechanic called the feint dash. So basically you dance around your opponent, as you can see, like you twist around them and make them think you're going to attack them from behind, when in reality you're going to the front of them, and then like you're literally just doing the craziest movement around your opponent as you're trying to mash square. It's crazy. I still haven't mastered this, so bear with me. When it gets mastered, I will teach it to you. The next up, we have recovering from being knocked back, knocked down, which is actually pretty simple and straightforward. So when you get knocked back, all you have to do is press circle before you hit like a debris or something. And when you get knocked down, you just gotta hold back and down, or up and down actually, which would be the better one, so that you can counter straight away because they won't be expecting it. But what they can do is actually vanish towards you. So if you do press up to go towards them, which I'm gonna show you right now actually, you're gonna need to know exactly if they're going for that vanish attack or not, because what's gonna happen is if they vanish, they're gonna still hit you after you try to counter with a Dragon Dash counter, you know, like I just showed you right there, Dragon Dash recovery. So the best one I could say though is go into a Z burst Dragon Dash recovery. So basically, instead of just doing what the computer is showing you here, you go into a Z burst one, which is the faster one, almost non-reactable, but you just gotta have ki. As long as you have ki to perform this, you should be good. You should be able to counter them and catch them off guard. So when you're near the ground or anything as such, hold up, and as soon as you get knocked down and you see that you're recovered, by using the Dragon Dash, go straight into a Z burst dash, and then catch them off guard. Alright, so our next one is just recovering from being knocked down or swept down. So all you gotta do is press up and X, and this will get you to recover up real quickly. And that's pretty much it. That's the only way to do it. And you can actually go back as well. Actually, I don't know why they don't show you that, but it is what it is. I know this next one says instant transmission attacks, but what it should have said is instant transmission attacks and defense, because you can actually use this to get enemies off your back when they're kind of like when you have a gap in between a combo, or when you think you have a chance to recover from a combo, you press this. And I'll show you exactly when you should use this in just a few more minutes. I don't know how long it will take for us to get there, but basically you have a property which allows you to escape certain combos, certain revenge counters by using this. Because when you use a revenge counter, technically, especially the one that is a slow one, which we will cover soon, you are not in priority there. Like, you are still able to get countered. Here's an example what I mean. So right here I'm fighting this guy, and he's gonna use his revenge counter to get me off his back, because obviously he's getting comboed. So what he doesn't know is when you use a revenge counter like that, the slow version of it at least, you do not have priority to attack. Your opponent does. When they use revenge counter, you have priority to attack. As long as it's the slow one, as the Yajirobe just did there, you have priority. What you can do to get out of that situation if they have priority is use your instant transmission attack. That will allow you to go behind them and knock them back, but they can also Z Vanish it if they see it coming. Your instant transmission attacks can also be used at mid-range, and this is good for when you know people are gonna go for like a Ki Blast attack. So not a super, a Ki Blast attack, which is simply by pressing triangle. So at mid-range you can just catch them and start a combo if they try to go for a Ki Blast attack, and if you know they're going for that. Now, follow-up attacks. What I'm going to show you is something that's kind of advanced, but it's actually pretty easy to pick up. So what you do here, as the computer is going to show you, you just chase them after you knock them back, and then immediately press square to hit them back, and then do it again and again and again. As long as you have meter and you can do it, you can do this. Now, what I'm going to show you is a way to cancel it to start a combo rather than just knocking them back, just like so. You go into a dragon homing, and when Gohan is near enough Piccolo, you stop dashing by pressing X and press square right away. Okay, this can also be done by pressing R1, but it's kind of trickier, and I would suggest you just stick to the short dash version because it's a lot easier. But this version here is actually good for like high level gameplay, because it throws off the opponent, making them think you've gone off screen, and then immediately come in to like hit them, you know? It's actually pretty good. This is another way to do it, which is the charged version, but the version I'm actually trying to get here on video was the version where you start a combo, like initiate a combo, rather than, there you go, and I just had it, rather than knocking them back, as you can see. Your next one is Dragon Smash, and the way to do this is simply by pressing square after you Dragon Dash, okay? So you knock them back, press X to chase them, and then press square to knock them back. Your next one is Burst Smash. So first you knock them back, press X, and then immediately press triangle to go like away and throw them off in the timing where they can actually perfect counter that and knock them back again. And then your following one is your Vanishing Assault. This is the one that people use the most because it deals a lot of damage. So basically all you have to do is knock them back and then press triangle. So it has to be a knockback that's heavy, one like so. And this will allow you to go straight into attacks as such, allowing you to deal massive damage in a short period of time. And your lightning attack is basically pressing circle after you knock them back. This is actually pretty good when you're near the floor, so you can initiate a combo rather than knocking them back and then giving them time to actually recover enough and guard themselves. So when you're near the ground, always use lightning attack right away so you can start a combo rather than, you know, vanishing attacks and over, because then they're gonna be able to counter it. But they can also counter lightning attacks, so keep that in mind. Now, the next one is how we can change characters mid-combo. So you start off by doing square, square, square all the way until like 5 times when you knock him back, and then you can change character and continue a combo with a different character. Or every time you knock a character back or down or whatever, you can change character and your next character will teleport to your opponent and slap them in the face, allowing them to continue a combo from then. Now, this next tip I'm going to give you, you're gonna love, because what I figured is that since the Xenoverse era actually, when I made this tech where I do a Ki Blast and then do an attack and then teleport to my opponent, this would put me behind an opponent. It doesn't matter how far I am, it would put me behind an opponent. And I think they brought it back in this game, they don't know. But before we get into that tech yet, we actually have another one called Chase Change, and this one is implemented in the game off the core, like off the bone. So what you do, you knock them back first and then immediately change, and this will put your character right next to your opponent, allowing you to do tag team combos of all kinds. Now, so how do we perform this tech, GBG? So what you gotta do, guys, is distance yourself from your opponent. Just try this. Distance yourself at a long range and then throw a Ki Blast, and when it hits, doesn't matter how many you throw, when that first one hits and it deals damage, immediately change character, okay? You'll see what happens. Your character will teleport to your opponent and slap him in the face, and they're gonna be thinking, how? Because in general, what you would have to do first is hit them with melee attacks, not Ki Blasts. That's not part of the game. Moving on, we have advanced guard techniques in the advanced tab. So let's take a look at what we can do here. So, starting off, you can guard any high heavy attack from your opponents. So when they're about to slam you downwards, this can be from a vanishing attack of any kind. So this could be after they do a perfect smash, or anything as such that comes from a high level, okay? And the same applies to low level, neutral, and I think those are the three ways you can actually guard, and that's it. And then you also have a guard clash, which basically means just breaking your opponent's guard. I don't know why they call it guard clash when it should be guard break, but I digress. So what you do here is basically just hold square, and this can be any sides, square to the side, squares to up or down, and then fully charge it, and this will break your opponent's guard. And now this next one, what they do is basically show you that you can guard upwards, and this will allow you to interrupt your opponent's, you know, smash attack or whatever they're going for. This can be performed mid combo as well, so whenever they try and go for a upwards kick combo or a low sweep, you need to guard up and down, okay? So what they actually don't show you is that you need to be doing the same types of guarding mid combo when you're getting bodied by your opponent. So basically you need to hold down, neutral, or up when you're getting combo to figure out which way your opponent's attacking you from, okay? Otherwise you'll be stuck in that combo forever. So we're now in game, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by having to guard up, down, neutral, alright? So what you need to do here, when you're getting hit, okay, when you're getting hit, you need to figure out which way your opponent is going to attack you, or which way or which combo routes they're going for. So let's just say melee, going super, let's try and guard him. So here, there you go. Right there, he was trying to launch me upwards, so I had to guard downwards to stop that attack. Otherwise, I would have been launched up. See, I guessed down that he was going to attack downwards. And the only way you can escape a combo when you're getting hit from behind is by doing Z counters or a super counter, which we will cover soon. But at the moment, just gotta guard which way he is going to go for. There we go. I should have vanished there, but there we go. The same thing here if they try to smash you downwards on that combo. Alright, so this next one, I'm gonna show you how to implement these guard systems into the game when you're in battle, okay? So right now he's only guarding, right? I put him to guard only. So what's gonna happen now, I can start a combo, right? If I start a combo right now, he's gonna have to guess which way I'm gonna attack him, right? Let's say after a square combo, like 5 times square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get to dash in and then choose which way to attack your opponents from. And this is the moment where you're going to need to guess which way your opponent is going to attack you from, whether it's gonna be a down attack or up attack or a low attack. So this only works after the first hits of the square combo, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down. I chose down. So what you would have to do, the opponent would have to guard up for that one, okay? When you choose down, they have to guard up. When I choose up, they have to guard down. You feel me? That's how it works. And when I don't press anything, just a neutral combo, they need to just be holding circle, all right? So you need to guess 3 ways. It's a rock, paper, scissors type of system they've implemented, so people have a chance to also break their combo here, okay? The same thing applies when you're doing kicks. 1, 2, 3 kicks, you have to guard up. That one you just guard neutral, same as this. But normally what would happen is they use this behind you, so you cannot guard it. Let me just show you. When it's like that, they cannot guard you. So what you do, you go behind them, just try and get behind them. Bam, do it first, right? But when you try and do this after breaking their combo, I want to just hit him. Wait, does it go straight into a combo? See? It does not work. So when you try and go straight into a what do you call it? Into a gut punch or whatever that thing is called, you cannot just perform that off the bat right away, you know? Especially if they're neutral guarding. So if they're neutral guarding, you can't go into that. And you can't go into the other one either, so which is twice, right? They have time. Unless their guard is broken, you would not be able to perform that combo. It wouldn't be true, okay? The same thing happens here, okay? When you launch them upwards, they can actually vanish that by pressing circle, alright, at the right time. But if you send them upwards the second time, and then only mash square, so let me show you. Actually, we're gonna have to get them from behind. What you can do here is hold forward and then press circle or whatever. You'll be able to counter that. So those are the 3 ways to do this. And then mid combo as well, anytime they want to go for a smash, you gotta block the right way. Block up to stop that, and if they're gonna launch you, block down to stop it. And if it's neutral, then obviously block neutral to stop it. So basically the computer doesn't tell you, or the tutorial doesn't show you, that you need to implement this when you're getting comboed as well, because that's the whole point of this. Alright, let's head back to Gohan and Piccolo. Now let's talk about the coolest mechanics in this game, Perception. There's a love and hate relationship between me and Perception, because I love using it, but when people just hold it down for like 12 hours, bro, it just gets really annoying. But there are ways to bait them to use this. So basically what you do, you throw a ki blast and dash in to make them think like you're going to attack them, when in reality you're gonna throw another ki blast to then get them out of perception and go straight for a combo starter. Okay, do bear in mind though, not every character's ki blast attacks stun, allowing you to start a combo. So Cooler's Metal Cooler's one is actually a really good one that stuns them for a bit, allowing you to start a combo. But just bear that in mind, not every character can do this. We also have Super Perception, which we basically just hold before the opponent hits us, allowing us to counter whatever the hell they throw at us, okay? Even if it's a super ki blaster or a super attack, we can actually use this to deflect it, okay? This is what we used to deflect every move in the game, except ultimates. I don't think ultimates work. But the broken thing about Super Perception is that you can actually use this when you're getting hit mid-combo, especially if the opponent is too slow in inputting their combo hits, okay? When they try to charge their moves mid-combo, you can use Super Perception to get you out of trouble. Here's an example. So let's say I'm gonna try and combo you and I get you in a hit, right? Let's say you're getting hit right now and I try to do this, or I try to do this. For example, 1, 2, 3 sweep break, right? You can use Super Perception as soon as you see me doing this. Super Perception, and you will counter me. You will literally counter me. Or this, use Super Perception and you will counter me. Or whenever I try to go for anything heavy, you use Super Perception and you will get me. Alright, that's how you use it. But let's say you don't want to use Perception because you don't want to feel like a spammer like I do when I use Perception. And instead you want to use a high movement speed, which allows you to place you right behind your opponent every time they do something that's heavy or guard breaking. So what you do, you go into high speed movement evasive move, which is basically pressing circle or guarding at the right time just before a heavy attack hits you. This can be used mid combo. This can be used when you're about to get hit by a vanishing move, so when people teleport and then hit you. This can be used when an instant transmission attack, I don't know if you guys remember it, but the one where you escape revenge counters from, you know, you can use this pretty much in every situation. You can also use this just before a super attack or ultimate attack of any kind is about to hit you by just pressing and timing block. As long as it's a heavy attack that's about to hit you, you can use that. Now, the hardest counter in the entire game and the most important counter that I cannot emphasize how much you need to freaking practice to master this. This is free getaway counter attack. Free. You do not spend any meter, and you pretty much are able to counter perceptions, revenge counters, everything in the game except obviously ultimate moves, because you cannot do it against ultimate moves. But even those super attacks that, you know, requires an animation where you go like into the cinematic moves that they do, you can also use this against that. So if you master this tech, you are gonna become unbeatable. You're going to become the world tournament champion, basically, in a nutshell. But as you can see, even the likes of me, people who know life this game, struggle performing this. It's hard. It's not easy at all. It will require a lot of time, experience, and also knowing the character that you're facing, attack patterns and things as such. So if you know their combo strings, it also helps a lot, okay? It is hard. Don't worry, it is hard. Spend some time trying to master this and you will become godly. But as you can see, you can use this in the start of the combo, you can use this at the very late time of the combo, or what you can do, if you miss a few times, wait for that auto combo that comes afterwards. So the follow-up, as you can see right there, I always time my circle when he's about to hit me from a auto combo finisher, as you can see right there. That's an auto combo because they go straight into Vanish. When you see that, that means they've made a mistake or they overpressed square too many times. Alright, especially if you missed your super counters, which is what we're trying to do right now. As you can see, I managed to pull it off, so I didn't need to press high speed evasion. Okay, high speed evasion is circle at the right time, but now I'm getting it and I'm starting to get the super counters on, and yeah, they can't hit me anymore. So next one we have is follow-up attacks. All right, so this actually requires you to get knocked back, and then what you're gonna need to do is press circle, which is your high speed evasion thing. As I said before, by pressing circle and timing it right, you're able to dodge and evade and also counter at the same time by smashing them away as well. All right, but this requires a lot of ki. I wouldn't say a lot, it requires ki, but whoever has the highest ki will actually eventually win this, because the more ki you have, the more attempts you're gonna have to try and evade. All right, this is actually pretty crazy because it makes this game even better with the cinematography and how the game just flows with the combat. One essential tip I can give you though, when you're in ranked battles, if you do not have enough ki to compete against your opponent, just do not try the Z counter, because you will take a lot of damage, especially if you're facing the likes of Gogeta, which is the craziest freaking character in the game. They deal a lot of damage. All right, now the next one we have is step in rush. So this is a safe way to get in close to your opponent when you're at like close range, allowing you to sway as you're approaching them. All right, so that X animation that you're seeing right there, as you can see, like Gohan's body goes into like a phase or a shift or whatever. That basically means he's got like an iframe. All right, he can evade one move before he gets hit. Okay, and then you also have step in rush chain. So basically when you step away before you press square, that is, and then go into triangle, allows you to go into a heavy attack straight away. So this is good for when opponents are trying to go into perception or like a ki blast or whatever. You can then evade and then go straight into a gut punch or a sweep or even a launcher combo. Okay, as you can see, another one of those is by stepping in and then go into sway straight away. So whenever you press X at close range only, X followed by circle, you can evade a move. And this is kind of like, it gives every character an opportunity to have UI. All right, even though you don't have UI Goku, which is the craziest freaking evasive move in the game, you have your own little sway or whatever. And actually, bear in mind, not every character has this. So the likes of Giants and certain other characters do not have this at all. All right, so our next one we're going to take a look at will be our high speed movement evasive counters or options. So basically, whenever an opponent kind of like teleports mid-combo, you can teleport behind them. You can intercept their combos by teleporting behind them, and what they can do is also teleport behind you by doing the same movement you did. So by pressing circle as well, at the same time you press circle, they will be able to teleport behind you. So technically, whoever has the most ki will be able to win that interception. So now check this out. This is how it works. So right here, I'm going to be using high speed movement, but what Piccolo could have done is also teleport as soon as he sees me using it, okay? So right here, circle, and then I'll be able to teleport behind him. Just give you a little time here, trying to figure out the buttons, there we go. And again, teleport behind him. But then what Piccolo could do is also teleport behind me when he sees it, all right? That's how it works. Our next one is just checking a look at like combos that can launch enemies in the air, but I think I'm going to be focusing on combos and things way better when we do a specific offensive combo. This is more of a defensive playstyle because at the moment a lot of people just can't guard. They don't know what to do for their lives. So I'm trying to help everyone just get the gist of how you can actually guard and escape combos in the game, alright? And I'm gonna give you guys a little break of what you can do with a sparking combo, but we'll take a look at this properly when we do an offensive guide, or an offense guide for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Here's what that looks like. Man, well, that kind of just brought us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I will be putting out a offense guide for Sparking Zero, where we're gonna actually break down one of my favorite characters, well, Goku Black, that is, combat and gameplay for him. Okay, so that'll be soon. I don't know when, because at the moment I'm also trying to learn and also give you guys some ranked matches online and host tournaments and all the above. So it's gonna be a while until I do that, but for the time being, make sure you study these, master them, so I can see you online and slap you up. Alright, man, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it if you guys could share this video with your folks and, you know, the community, and yeah, let me know what you guys think, and if I missed anything, do let me know and I'll try to implement it in my next video. Alright everyone, really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you could, and I'll see you soon.